Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. According to reports from France, Paul Pogba is telling those close to him that he wants to extend his Manchester United contract. The new contract will see Paul Pogba earn around £400,000 a week, so he will be one of the best paid players. Pogba's current contract at Man United expires next summer. Before the start of the season, Pogba rejected a new Man United contract. Earlier on this season, he said that Pogba was very likely to leave Man United on a free next summer. It said yesterday that Man United were losing time to convince Paul Pogba to stay. But not so long ago, Man United set the Paul Pogba deadline. It said we wanted Paul Pogba's future to be sorted by Christmas. Paul Pogba has had a long-running transfer saga. He's been relentlessly linked with Real Madrid. PSG have been in for him. Don't forget, it said PSG were prepared to offer Pogba £510,000 a week in wages to prize him away from Man United. Inter Milan have been in for him before. Barcelona have been in for him. His former club Juventus have been in for him. Earlier on this season, Paul Pogba's agent Mino Raiola suggested that Pogba could return to Juventus from Man United on a free next summer, because Mino Raiola did mention that Turin was still in Paul Pogba's heart. Well, Pogba did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus before he rejoined Man United, but earlier on in the season, it said Juventus have no plans to re-sign Pogba next summer. Earlier on this season, Paul Pogba's brother Matthias Pogba came out and said that Paul Pogba was yet to decide on his future, and he did say that his contract situation was up in the air. And it actually said Man United must sell Pogba in January to buy players. But I'm glad that Paul Pogba wants to stay. You know, he's a good player. He's enjoyed a good start to the Premier League season. You know, Pogba's already got 7 assists. He produced good performances for Man United in the last couple of months of last season, but at one point last season he was out with a thigh injury for a while, and he sustained a couple of ankle injuries at Man United. This season is Pogba's 6th season at Man United since he rejoined. He's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid $89 million for him. He's won 3 trophies at the club so far. We had Pogba when he was a lot younger under the Sir Alex Fergusons era, but had to let him go due to limited appearances. But Pogba's agent Mino Raiola has done a lot of talking. Don't forget, he made an announcement back in December last year regarding Pogba. He did mention that Pogba's career at Man United was over. He said he was unhappy and he had to leave, and he had no intentions of extending his contract. Don't forget, Solskjaer was furious with Mino Raiola's announcement. So that's the news on Paul Pogba. Now, according to Fabrizio Romano, Donny van de Beek is planning to leave the club in January. Now, many clubs are in for Donny van de Beek, including Everton. Sky Sports recently said that Everton remain interested in Van de Beek. Everton were close to signing Donny van de Beek on loan, but Solskjaer rejected Van de Beek's exit. Donny van de Beek's agent is said to be working hard on finding a new club for his client. Not so long ago, Van de Beek was furious with Solskjaer as he was left on the bench in Man United's win over Villarreal. Van de Beek was spotted throwing chewing gum in the dugout. But Donny van de Beek will try to force a January transfer away from Man United following his Villarreal meltdown. You know, Van de Beek played no part against Everton last weekend. He played no part against Villarreal. He played the full 90 minutes against West Ham in the Carabao Cup and he put a very good performance out. Also started against Young Boys in the Champions League earlier on this season, but Solskjaer taking him off at half-time in that game, and I heavily criticised Solskjaer for that because Van de Beek was our best player in the first half of that game. A few weeks ago, Don Hutchinson told Donny van de Beek he must leave Man United to save his career, and Paul Ince came out and said that Van de Beek has absolutely no chance of staying at Man United. But he isn't getting enough game time. You know, this season is Van de Beek's second full season at Man United. Last season he made 36 appearances in all competitions, but most of them appearances came from the bench. I recall Van de Beek starting just 4 games in the league last season. We got Van de Beek for 40 million with add-ons included. He's got a contract with Man United till 2025 and he's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. Now, recently, I've been talking with you a lot about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will not be sacked yet. Man United are still fully committed to Solskjaer and have no plans to replace the club legend as manager, despite a topsy-turvy start to the season. We have only won 2 of our last 6 games in all competitions, so reflecting on that, Solskjaer is under pressure. Well, a report from the Daily Mail said that Solskjaer's future as manager could depend on the next 10 games. You know, we have got very tough games coming up. But the vast majority of Manchester United fans are Ole out. Maybe there's still some Man United fans that are Ole in. Obviously, you've got some Man United fans that want Antonio Conte to replace Solskjaer. I think there's some Man United fans that have also been demanding Zidane to replace Solskjaer. Solskjaer has to win a trophy at Manchester United to save his job. He's not yet won a trophy as Man United manager. We haven't won a trophy since 2017. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. This season is Solskjaer's third full season as Man United manager, and I did mention at the start of this season that, you know, it was going to be a big season for Ole because he's got big expectations to exceed. In the summer, Pogba signed a new, Solskjaer signed a new contract with the club until 2024. There's an option of a further year, and like I mentioned, we made a mistake giving Solskjaer that new contract because I can assure he won't see it out. And a lot of United fans will agree with me on that aspect. Solskjaer got very good backing in this year's summer transfer window. You know, John Murtough backed him. John Murtough is our director of football, and we made the right decision getting a director of footballing because I did mention that's one of the structural changes we needed at the club. Also, Darren Fletcher backed him, and we certainly made the right decision recommending Darren Fletcher backing. You know, Darren Fletcher knows the club through thick and thin. He endured 2 decades as a player for Man United. Woodward has also backed Solskjaer. Woodward said several times before that he'd backed Solskjaer, and he assured that Solskjaer's job was safe even when was enduring them really bad periods under him when Ole was being close to be sacked. Woodward is leaving Man United. It got announced he was leaving back in April when that European Super League came into the equation. Woodward has had a 16-year association with the club, and in the summer transfer window, the Glazers also backed Solskjaer. Don't forget, the Glazers are selling 8% of Manchester United, and the shares that are worth 137 million. Man United enjoyed a very good summer transfer window. You know, we made 4 signings, brought Tom Heaton in on a free from Villa, brought Jadon Sancho in from Borussia Dortmund, brought Rafael Varane in from Real Madrid, and we re-signed Cristiano Ronaldo after 12 years. We spent, 141 million in this year's summer transfer window. Solskjaer's enjoyed like 5 transfer windows as permanent Manchester United manager. But Solskjaer has been in charge of Manchester United for almost 3 years. Solskjaer's managed over 150 games as Man United manager in all competitions. Solskjaer has no proven pedigree as a manager. Obviously, before he was with us, he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde, but they're not a big club. He enjoyed 2 spells with them, and before then he was at Cardiff, and his record at Cardiff was absolutely disastrous. The reason he got sacked from Cardiff is because he got them relegated. He only enjoyed a short tenure with them. And Solskjaer's decision making is a big concern. A lot of United fans have got strong reservations about Ole's decision making because analysing the vast majority of the games he's managed at Man United, he's been tactically naive. I'll revert back to what I've said on a lot of my other videos though. The reason Solskjaer is still Manchester United manager is because he's a legend of the club. So reflecting on that, our board have got a soft stance on him. Disregarding being a club legend, I can assure he wouldn't have been here by now. Solskjaer got appointed in December 2018 to replace Jose Mourinho. He's been permanent Manchester United manager since March 2019. Well, in Solskjaer's first 3 months, he was the interim manager, wasn't he? He did very well as the interim manager, so that's why the club decided to give him the job permanently back in March 2019. All he knew when he'd taken over at Man United, it was going to be a massive job, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. And all he knew he had lots to do when he got appointed in. And, since Ole has come in, he has made good signings. So far, Solskjaer has signed 14 players as Manchester United manager, and we spent like 441 million so far under the Solskjaer era. Ole's also got rid of a lot of players since he's come in, which he knew he had to do. He's got rid of players permanently. He's also loaned a few players out. Progress has been made under Solskjaer in certain aspects, because obviously in his first full season he got us to 3 semi-finals. Last season he got us to the EFL Cup semi-final. Last season got us to the FA Cup quarter-final. Last season he got us to the Europa League final. And that was his first major final as Man United manager. Unfortunately though, we didn't win it. So there you go, and in his first full season Ole got us a 3rd place finish, and last season he got us a 2nd place finish. So like I've said before, what Ole produced in his first full season, in his 2nd full season, he's looking to build on that this season. I like the way Solskjaer develops the youth as well, and Solskjaer's more or less giving everybody their chances to express themselves, including the young players, like he sure he would do when he got appointed in as Man United manager. But, despite me criticising Solskjaer a lot, I've got to turn around and say he has done a pretty good job to say the current squad he was left with when he got appointed in as Man United manager. Didn't expect him to do as well as he has done, so in that aspect I am shocked. Obviously we know Solskjaer, he's not going to replicate what Ferguson did. No manager's going to replicate what Ferguson did, not in my lifetime anyway. Obviously Ferguson enjoyed a 27-year tenure at Man United, and Ferguson brought success to the club because he won 30 odd trophies, including 13 Premier League titles. But Fergie didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Man United. So that just indicates it takes some managers time to settle in. If it wasn't for Sir Alex Ferguson, we wouldn't have had any success. The only mistake Ferguson made was recommending David Moyes in when he retired. But the reasons why he did that is because they're both Scottish, and obviously Ferguson seemed to have a lot of time for Moyes. But a lot of United fans predicted it was going to go wrong when he retired, which obviously it has done. Since Ferguson, 3 managers have been sacked. We sacked Moyes after 10 months. Moyes is the worst manager we've ever had, I'd say. We finished, 7th under the David Moyes era? I think that's the lowest we've finished in the Premier League era. Then obviously we sacked Louis van Gaal. After like 2 years, we won the FA Cup under him. It started well under Van Gaal and it all went downhill. And we sacked Jose Mourinho after like 2.5, 3 years. You can say Mourinho did enjoy one good season at the club. Mourinho won 3 trophies in his first season, if you want to put the Community Shield into the equation. If not, 2 trophies. And Mourinho got us a 2nd place finish as well. So Solskjaer is our 4th permanent manager since Ferguson. I'm expecting Manchester United to sell players next year. Well, a few weeks ago it said Solskjaer is willing to sell up to 7 players in January, including Anthony Martial and Donny van de Beek. Yeah, I'm expecting us to offload Martial. Martial isn't good enough to represent the club. Martial surprisingly played against Everton last weekend and he scored. That was his first goal since February. He also played the full game against West Ham in the Carabao Cup. Struggled to make an impact in that one. But yeah, Martial is finished at Manchester United. It said the other week though that Man United are ready to sell Martial in January and Man United value Martial at 40 million. It says Barcelona are considering making a move next year. Martial's been a long-term target for Tottenham. He said he's open to joining another Premier League club. Atletico Madrid were in for Martial last summer. Martial rejected the chance to join Lyon on loan on deadline day. And before the start of the season, it said Inter Milan wanted him to replace Lukaku. But before the start of the season, it said Solskjaer refuses to sell Anthony Martial, as he remains part of his plans. The best season Martial enjoyed was his debut season under Louis van Gaal. Martial has been at Man United for 6 years. He's got 3 years left on his contract. Martial scored 79 goals in all competitions. We got Martial in a deal worth 58 million from Monaco back in 2015. Last season Martial was out with a knee injury for a while. Don't forget Solskjaer was the one that gave Martial that number 9 shirt. Edinson Cavani, I'm expecting him to leave next year. He said not so long ago that Real Madrid want Edinson Cavani on loan in January. Real Madrid wanted Cavani in the summer transfer window, but the club failed to make a move happen. Real Madrid will wait until next summer for their main attacking targets Mbappe and Haaland. Barcelona try to get Cavani on deadline day in the summer transfer window, but Cavani obviously didn't leave. He obviously stayed with us. Fabrizio Romano said, he wasn't going to leave us on deadline day. I think Barcelona will reignite their interest in January, but I can't say I want Cavani to leave because Cavani has made an impact since he's come in. Cavani's got under a year left on his contract. Back in May, he signed a 1-year contract extension and he's on over £200,000 a week. Surprisingly, Cavani started against Everton last week and had a good chance from a downward header, produced a good save from Pickford. Cavani's got a good pedigree behind him. Look at the amount of trophies he won at PSG before he came to us. We got Cavani on a free. Juan Mata, I'm expecting him to leave next year. January or the next summer. Juan Mata's contract expires next summer because earlier on this year, Juan Mata signed a 1-year contract extension. I can't understand why the club give him that 1-year contract extension. Juan Mata doesn't even get in our 11. And he's lost that yard of pace in his aging up. But despite all that, Mata's had a good career at Man United, hasn't he? He's made over 200 appearances for Man United in all competitions. Juan Mata has been at Man United for like 7.5 years. We brought him in under the David Moyes era. We got him from Chelsea for 40 million. The first part of last season, Mata rejected an 18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. Good chance we'll offload Lingard next year. I think we'll offload Dalot next year. Dalot is our backup right back to Wan-Bissaka. Dalot obviously played against Villarreal. The only reason is because Wan-Bissaka wasn't available because he was suspended. I thought Dalot was poor against Villarreal. Dalot played against West Ham in the Carabao Cup though, and to his credit put a good performance out. Last season, Dalot had a loan spell with AC Milan, so reflecting on that, he gained some experience. We got Dalot 3 years ago from Porto. We paid 19 million for him. Dalot's got a contract with Man United till 2023. Tellez, I think he'll go next year because Tellez doesn't really get in our team. Tellez only played recently because Luke Shaw wasn't available. Shaw's just come back from a minor injury and illness. Tellez scored a good volley though against Villarreal. He also played against West Ham in the Cup the other week and put a very good performance out. Tellez, don't forget, was out with injury earlier on this season. The reason we brought Tellez in was to provide competition for Luke Shaw, but since Tellez has come in, we've seemed to get the best out of Luke Shaw. We got Tellez in a deal worth 15.4 million, didn't we? Phil Jones, he'll go as well next year. Jones was out with an injury for a while at one point, but obviously he's now back. When the summer transfer window was open, it said Phil Jones is set to stay at Man United this season after Solskjaer told him he remains part of his plans. Jones is the only outfield player that's still with us from the Sir Alex Ferguson era. This season is Phil Jones' 11th season at Man United, so he's been a long-serving player. And Eric Bailly, he could be leaving next year. But I don't want Bailly to leave because he is a good centre-half. Started against West Ham the other week. That was his first start of the season. Put a very good performance out. My only element of concern about Eric Bailly is injury prone. So in that aspect, he's a liability. And towards the end of last season, Bailly signed a new contract with the club until 2024. There's an option of a further year. And there you go. And yesterday I gave you the news on Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford has returned from injury. Rashford was out with a shoulder injury for a while. Don't forget he had to have an operation on his shoulder. But yeah, Rashford scored twice in the behind closed doors friendly game against Blackburn. But it's good now that Rashford is back because Man United will look so much better. Not so long ago, I was talking with you about Jadon Sancho. I think Solskjaer's failing Sancho at Manchester United at the moment. You know, Solskjaer plays him out of position. He's played him on that left-hand side a few times. You know, Sancho's far superior on the right-hand side than he is on the left because that right wing is Sancho's predominant position. You can also play Sancho centrally. Revert back to what I've said before, Sancho will do well at Man United providing Solskjaer uses him correctly, but he hasn't enjoyed a good start to his Man United career, no, but it does take some players time to settle in. The other week, Borussia Dortmund warned Man United about the Jadon Sancho problem. Dortmund's CEO came out and said that Sancho's lack of game time at Man United is hurting my soul. So anyway guys, that's everything to update for today. Drop me comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.